Many students solve different types of equations, but if you ask them what is an equation, they might not know what to say about an equation. So let me write the topic. Okay. For me, I like to tell my students what an equation is in a very simple way. Okay. I like my classes to be very simple to understand so that every student will be able to reproduce what I teach. So for me, I like to explain an equation in this form. An equation is an algebra that has a left side, right side, and equal to sign. So once I explain an equation in this way, my students understand it easily. So I'll give an example. If you have something like this, 2x is equal to 10. Now this is a simple equation. But remember, from the definition, we say an equation is an algebra. Okay? So next question is, what is an algebra? Right? An algebra is a mathematical expression that contains both numbers and alphabet. So whenever you see a mathematical expression that has numbers in them and alphabet in them, you know that that mathematical expression is an algebra. A type of algebra is called equation. So an equation is an algebra that contains a left side. So if you look at this example we have here, 2x is on the left, 10 is on the right, and in between you have an equal to sign. Okay, so 2x is on the left, 10 is on the right, and in between there is an equal to sign. Every equation, no matter how complex it looks, has these features. There are some values on the left, there are some values on the right, and in between those two values you will always see an equal to sign. So whenever you see such arrangement in a mathematical expression, you know that you are dealing with an equation. Okay? Now, this alphabet you have here in the equation, this alphabet you have in the equation is actually a number. The alphabet in an equation is a number, but the only difference is the alphabet X, for example, is a number that we do not know yet. So X is a number, but we do not know what that number is yet. So solving an equation means finding the value of that unknown number. In this example we have here, X is actually a number, but because we don't know what that number is, we represent it with an alphabet. So solving an equation simply means finding the value, the numerical equivalent of X that makes these values on the left equal to the value on the right. So whenever you get the value of X, you must ensure that the left side of the equation equals the right side of the equation. Okay? So I said solving an equation means finding the value, the numerical value of the alphabet that makes the left equal to the right. Okay. I'd like to give a brief introduction to my class before I start solving. Okay. So solving an equation means finding the numerical value of the alphabet that makes the left side of the equation equal to the right side of the equation. So whenever you find the value of that alphabet, you have solved the equation. So most times you see an equation, they'll say, solve the equation. Solve the equation. All they're asking you is find the numerical value. Okay? All they're asking us is find the numerical value of the unknown number, which is represented with an alphabet. So the first thing we are going to look at is how to solve simple linear equation. Okay, so I'm going to wipe off the board. Solving linear equation. Okay, so to solve a linear equation means to find the value of the alphabet, as we have said, that makes the left side of the equation equal to the right side of the equation. And we are going to apply a method called balance method. Okay, balance method of solving linear equation, or balance method of solving equations. So if you have an equation in this form, 2x plus 5 is equal to 17. Okay, 2x plus 5 is equal to 17. So for us to solve this equation, what we are being asked to do is to find the value of x. This value of x must make the left side of the equation and the right side of the equation equal. Okay, and remember, the method we are going to apply is called balance method. This method states that in the process of solving an equation, whatever you do to the left side of the equation, you must do the same thing to the right side of the equation. Okay, so whatever you do to the left side of an equation in the process of solving the equation, you have to do the same thing to the right side of the equation. Now, for us to solve this equation, what we have to do is we must move every number to the right so that x will finally be alone on the left. Okay, here we have 2x plus 5 is equal to 17, but we want to solve for x. This means plus 5 has to be eliminated from the left side. 2 also has to be eliminated from the left side. Then how do we do that? How do we get that done? The way to get that done is to introduce the opposite of those values. So here is plus 5. In order to eliminate plus 5 on the left, we are going to introduce the opposite of plus 5 to the left, so that both will cancel each other out. For example, if you have plus 2 minus 2, if someone comes to you, gives you $2, which is a plus to you, and takes the $2, which is a minus to you, the question is, what did he give to you? He gave nothing. What he gave was 0, because he gave you $2 and took away $2. If someone takes away $2 from you and gives it back to you, how much did he take from you? Nothing. He took away $2 from you and then gave that $2 back to you. So plus 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. Minus 2 plus 2 is equal to 0. So if I have a plus 2 and I want to turn it to 0, I will simply introduce the opposite, which is minus 2. If I have a minus 2 and I want to turn it to 0, I will simply introduce the opposite, which is plus 2. So once you have a value and you want to eliminate it, all you need to do is introduce the opposite of that value. Okay, so let's look at the equation we have here. We have 2x plus 5 is equal to 17. So the first number we want to eliminate is plus 5. We want to remove plus 5 from the left side of the equation. For us to do that, we are going to introduce the opposite of plus 5. Does anybody know the opposite of plus 5? Minus 5. So, correct? So if Blackson, correct? So if I want to eliminate plus 5 from the left side, I'm going to introduce minus 5 to the left side. So this is going to be 2x plus 5 minus 5 is equal to 17. But once I introduce minus 5 to the left, this equation is no longer balanced. I now have an extra value that was not here on the left. So minus 5 was not here in the original equation. So I just introduced it by myself. So for me to balance the equation, I'm going to do the same thing that I did to the left to the right. So because I introduced minus 5 to the left, I have to do the same thing I did to the left to the right. Okay, that is what this method states. Whatever you do to the left side of the equation, in the process of solving the equation, you must do the same thing to the right side of the equation. Okay, so this will be plus 5 minus 5, they will cancel out, it will become 0, so both will cancel out. So we are going to have only 2x on the left, which is equal to 17 minus 5 is equal to 12. So looking at this and this, we can see that plus 5 is no longer there. Now we are getting closer to the answer. Okay, but we still need to eliminate 2. How do we eliminate 2? 2 is joined to x by an invisible multiplication sign. 2x is the same thing as 2 multiplied by x. Okay, 2x is the same thing as 2 multiplied by x. So what is joining 2 to x is a multiplication. So what we are trying to eliminate is multiplied by 2. We are trying to eliminate multiply by 2. So for us to eliminate multiply by 2, we are going to introduce the opposite of multiply by 2, which is divide by 2. Because the opposite of multiplication is division. So in order to eliminate multiply by 2, we need to introduce the opposite of multiplication, which is division. And what are we going to divide by? We are going to divide by 2. Okay? So this will mean 2x all over 2, because we want to cancel out 2. But balance method comes to play again. Say, oh, you've introduced divided by 2 to the left, so you have to do the same thing to the right. So we are also going to do the same thing, 12 divided by 2. Okay, so now 2 is going to cancel out 2. We're going to have x is equal to 12 divided by 2 is going to give us 6, which is the final answer. Okay, so it's very simple. But this simple principle forms the foundation for more complex calculations in algebra and even calculus. So if you understand this simple principle of balance method, it's going to help you in more complex calculations. Okay, so we're going to look at another example. Okay, I'm going to solve another example and help you to understand the equation. Help you understand more. No, I'm not. This is not jam class. It's just I'm just teaching equations. Okay, not really for jam because I have audience outside Nigeria and inside Nigeria, so just general for everybody. Let's another example. We have 5x minus 4 is equal to 26. So this is another simple one. Okay, so we want to solve the equation. We want to solve the equation. Remember, solving an equation means finding the value of the alphabet. That's what it simply means. Whenever you are told to solve an equation, you are simply to find the value of the alphabet. Okay? Now, we want to get the value of x. This means we want x to be alone on the left. But there are two unwanted values on the left. Those values are minus 5. The sign always belongs to the number after it. So minus 4. So minus 4. So this sign minus is owned by 4. So if you have a situation where 4 has to move to another location, that sign also has to move down there because the sign belongs to 4. There is also a sign here, but because this is the first number, we don't write the sign, except when the sign there is negative. But whenever you see an equation and there is no sign here, you know that the sign there is an invisible positive sign. Okay? So now, for us to get the value of x, we have to eliminate minus 4, and we also have to eliminate 5. To eliminate minus 4, we need to introduce the opposite of minus 4. Yeah, somebody has already gotten the answer, but we are solving so that everybody will be carried along. Okay? So, minus 4 has to be eliminated. And to eliminate minus 4, we have to introduce the opposite of minus 4, which is plus 4. So we're going to have 5x minus 4 plus 4 is equal to 26. But balance method comes to play and says, no, there was no plus 4 here before, and now you have put plus 4. This means whatever you do to the left side, you have to do the same thing to the right side. So we go ahead to obey balance method by putting plus 4. Okay, whatever we do to this side, we do to this side. Minus 4 plus 4, we cancel each other out because they are equal. So now we have 5x is equal to 26 plus 4 is going to give us 30. So now we've eliminated minus 4, but 5 is still left standing. Therefore, we need to look for a way to eliminate 5 also. For us to eliminate 5, we need to introduce the opposite of multiply by 5. Remember, 5x is the same thing as 5 multiplied by x. And we need to introduce the opposite of multiply by 5, which is divided by 5. So this is going to be 5x divided by 5 is equal to 30 divided by 5. So 5 is going to cancel out 5. We're going to have x is equal to 30 divided by 5 is going to give us 6. That becomes the final answer. Okay, so let's solve one more example. Then we go to equation with bracket. So if we have, I like you guys to try this out. 3y minus 8 is equal to 10. 3y minus 8 is equal to 10. Three y minus 8 is equal to 10. If you've solved the equation, I'd like you to see the answer. Equation with bracket. So sometimes you might see an equation that contains a bracket or brackets. Okay, the equation might have one bracket or more than one bracket. Okay, so let's look at an example. You have 3 into x plus 5 is equal to 18. Sorry, it's equal to 18. 3 into x plus 5 is equal to 18. Now, we cannot just go ahead and start cancelling out. The first thing we need to do is eliminate this bracket. This equation comes with a bracket, therefore the first thing we need to do is eliminate the bracket. How do we eliminate the bracket? First of all, what does bracket mean in mathematics? Whenever you see a bracket in a math equation, what does it mean? What does it represent? Multiplication. Good. Good. So a bracket means multiplication. It means that what is outside the bracket is multiplying the values inside the bracket. Okay? So 3 is multiplying x and 3 is multiplying 5. Not forgetting the sign in front of it. Okay? So 3 multiplied by x is going to give us 3x plus 3 multiplied by 5 is going to give us 15. Okay? So now we have eliminated the bracket. So it is easy to eliminate bracket. Once you multiply what is outside the bracket by what is inside the bracket goes off. So you have eliminated the bracket. Now you can solve using balance method just as we have been doing. So we want to eliminate plus 15. We are going to introduce the opposite of plus 15, which is minus 15. So it's going to be 3x plus 15 minus 15 is equal to 18 minus 15. Whatever we do to the left side, we do the same thing to the right side. Okay, so plus 15 minus 15, we cancel each other out. We have 3x is equal to 18 minus 15 is going to give us 3. Okay, brilliant, brilliant. Many persons have gotten the answer. So this means to get x, we're going to divide both sides by 3. So 3 is going to cancel out 3. We have x is equal to 3 divided by 3 gives us 1. Very simple. Someone said easy way is by removing 3 by dividing both sides rather than expanding. Yeah, you can also do that. You can also do that. You can also do that. If you divide by 3 here, you also divide by 3 here. So you're going to have x plus 5 is equal to 6. And then you continue. That's also correct. That's also correct. Okay, so we're going to use your method now to solve the next question. We're going to use your method. Probably some persons might probably like that method. And then maybe the next class will move to your own page. Oh, sorry. How did you get 15? You're going to see it in the next question. Okay, the next question says 2 into bracket 11 minus 3x is equal to 4. So let's use the method. Who said that? Well, let's see who gave that explanation. Boulanier. What name is that? Boulanier. Okay, he said instead of multiplying, what we are going to do is cancel out 2 here. In this particular question is 2. So instead of multiplying what is outside by what is inside, what we simply have to do is divide, because since bracket means multiplication, So we can introduce the opposite of multiply by 2, which is divided by 2. And we are going to do it to both sides of the equation. So this will be, we are going to divide by 2, and we are going to divide by 2. So this 2 is going to cancel out this 2. So we're going to have 11 minus 3x is equal to 2. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve the two methods side by side, if possible. So let's see if we have enough space. Let's see. So I'm going to solve the method I used earlier on this side. Let's solve this way. So let me leave the equation the way it was. So we have 2. So what I did earlier was multiply what is outside the bracket by what is inside the bracket. So 2 multiplied by 11 gives us 22. 2 multiplied by minus 3x. Okay, so we'll bring this minus sign down. Considering the minus, 2 multiplied by 3x is going to give us 6x is equal to 4. So now let's be careful here. Now what we want to eliminate is 22 and minus 6, because we want x to be alone. What we want to eliminate is 22 and minus 6, but the first number we are going to eliminate is 22. There is no sign in front of 22. Therefore, we know that the sign in front of 22 is an invisible plus sign. There is no sign in front of 22. Therefore, we know that because we don't have any sign there, the sign is an invisible plus sign. So in order to eliminate plus 22, we will introduce the opposite of plus 22, which is minus 22. It's going to be 22 minus 22 minus 6x is equal to 4. But now that's not the end. We didn't have minus 22 before. So since we brought in minus 22 to the left side, we also have to introduce minus 22 to the right side. We also have to introduce minus 22 to the right side. So here, plus 22 minus 22 will cancel out. What we have is minus 6x is equal to... Okay, can someone tell us what 4 minus 22? What is 4 minus 22? Okay, someone is asking why we put 22. Let's start from here. 2 multiplied by 11 will give us 22. That's where 22 comes from. 2 multiplied by minus 3x gave us 6x. But now we want to get x, so all these values have to be removed. The value that we want to remove here is 22. So for us to remove 22, we need to introduce the opposite of 22, which is minus 22. Minus 22. So we introduce the opposite of the number in order to cancel out the number. And when we do it to one side, we have to do it to the other side. Okay, somebody has given us the answer here. 4 minus 22 is minus 18. Okay, 4 minus 22 is minus 18. 4 minus 22 is minus 18. Olusheyi said is 18. We consider the fact that this is a minus. A small number is subtracting a bigger number. So when a small number is subtracting a bigger number, you have a negative as the answer. Okay? When a small number is subtracting a bigger number, you have a negative as the answer. Okay, now we have minus 6x is equal to minus 18. We want to get x as our answer. Therefore, this number has to go away. And what is the number that has to go away? The number is minus 6. Therefore, we are going to divide both sides by minus 6. So this will be minus 6x all over minus 6 is equal to minus 18 all over minus 6. So here, minus 6, we cancel out minus 6, we have x is equal to minus 18 divided by minus 18. When the when you are dividing, we have division rule, multiplication rule, addition rule of signs in algebra. So when minus is dividing minus, your answer will be positive. When the signs are the same, your answer will be positive. When the signs are different, your answer will be negative. Here the sign here is minus, here the sign is minus, that means they are the same. And since they are the same, your answer will be positive. So it's going to be a positive 3, plus 3. But since there is no number before 3, we can just write it as 3. So our answer will be x is equal to 3. So let's see the other method that was suggested. Let's see the other method over here. Let's see the other method that was suggested. So the other method says, in order to solve this, all we simply need to do, the first thing we need to do is divide by 2, so that these 2 will cancel out. And when you divide the left by 2, you also divide the right by 2. So we're going to have 2 into bracket 11 minus 3x all over 2 is equal to 4 all over 2. So 2 is going to cancel out 2. We have 11 minus 3x is equal to 2. 4 divided by 2 give us 2. Okay. Now the next thing, we move this 11 plus 11 to the right. What we need to do, we need to introduce a minus 11. So it's going to be 11 minus 11 minus 3x is equal to 2 minus 11. So 11 minus 11 will cancel out. We have minus 3x is equal to 2 minus 11 is going to give us minus 9. So in order to get x, we divide both sides by minus 3. So minus 3 will cancel out minus 3. We have x is equal to minus divided by minus plus, and 9 divided by 3 will give us 3. So using both methods, your answer will be the same, depending on what you prefer. Someone said the answer is 3, is 4. Check the way you solved it. I think you missed something. So the answer is 3. The answer is 3. So let's solve one more that seems a little bit more complex. I come live every Wednesday. I used to come more frequently, but my schedule is a little bit tight, so I only come live on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Nigeria time, which is 7 p.m. Ghana time. I think it's also 5 p.m. UK time. US time varies, so it's 9 p.m. South African time. So depending on your country, Nigerian time is GMT plus 1. So depending on your location. Okay, so let's look at this one. Let's solve this. We have 3 into bracket x plus 5 is equal to 3 into bracket 2x minus 1. So as we did in the first question, remember we are looking at equation with bracket. So as we did in the first question, the first thing we need to do is eliminate the bracket. That's the first thing. We cannot do any other thing without doing that. So we have seen that there are 2 ways of eliminating the bracket. Here we have, here we have 3 outside, we have 3 outside. So we can simply divide both sides by 3. We can simply divide both sides by 3. So we can simply do divided by 3, divided by 3. So 3 will cancel out 3, and 3 will cancel out 3. Okay, so now we are going to have, since these guys in the bracket are free because 3 is no longer there, we now have x plus 5 is equal to 2x minus 1. So unlike other questions that we have been solving, x is on both sides of the equation. This means we have to choose where x is going to be. We can decide that we want all our x to be on the right, or we want all our x to be on the left. So if we want our x to be on the right, that means this x here has to move to the right. If we want our x to be on the left, that means this x here has to move to the left. So we are going to move the x first, then we'll move the number without x. Okay, so let's decide now. I want to move all my x to the right, to the left. This means 2x is going to move. And for 2x to move, we need to introduce the opposite of 2x. Does anybody know the opposite of 2x? What's the opposite of 2x? 2x is the same thing as plus 2x. So what's the opposite of plus 2x? What's the opposite of plus 2x? Minus 2x. In order to eliminate plus 2x on the left, on the right, we have to introduce minus 2x. But when we introduce minus 2x to the right, we have to do the same thing to the left. Correct? Correct? So since we are introducing minus 2x to the right, we have to do the same thing to the left because of balance method. So x minus 2x plus 5 is equal to 2x minus 2x minus 1. So on the right, 2x minus 2x will cancel each other out. On the right, we now have only minus 1. But on the left, x minus 2x, what is it going to give us? X minus 2x. What is x minus 2x going to give us? X here is same as 1x, but since it is 1, it remains invisible. X minus 2x, what's it going to give us? Yeah, somebody say minus 1x, somebody says 0, somebody said x. Okay, let's forget about the signs. Let's forget about the x. Let's write it as 1 minus 2. What is 1 minus 2 going to give us? Minus 1. 1 minus 2 is going to give us minus 1. So we can simply write it as minus 1x. But since here is minus, since it's 1, we can simply write it as minus x. So x minus 2x is the same thing as minus x. Bring the plus 5 down. So we now have x minus x plus 5 is equal to minus 1. The next thing is we need to move this plus 5 to the right. And for us to move plus 5 to the right, we need to introduce the opposite of plus 5, which is minus 5. And we're going to introduce it to both sides. So it's going to be minus x plus 5 minus 5 is equal to minus 1 minus 5. So plus 5 minus 5 cancels out. We have minus x is equal to minus 1 minus 5 is going to give us minus 6. Minus 1 minus 5 is going to give us minus 6. So to get x, we are going to divide both sides by minus, or divide both sides by minus 1. Since there's an invisible 1 here, so divide both sides by minus 1. So minus will cancel out minus. We have x is equal to minus divided by minus gives us plus, and 6 divided by 1 gives us 6. So our answer to this question is 6. Okay. So if you just joined and you want to see a replay of this live session, okay, all you need to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel, Banimas Academy on YouTube. The same name on WhatsApp, sorry, the same name on TikTok is the same name on YouTube. Okay, just search for it and subscribe. I will be posting a replay of all my live sessions. So I'll be having a playlist that contains the replay of all my live sessions. So I would like to give one question and let's see what you will give as the answer before we round off for today. Please support my platform by subscribing to my YouTube channel and also watching the videos. So we have x plus 5 is equal to 3 into x plus 1. And also, if you join my WhatsApp group, it gives you an opportunity to make a request for the type of tutorial that you want. Okay, the students in my WhatsApp group made the request for this particular topic. Okay, so it is those in the WhatsApp group that make requests. So out of the number of students, I pick the topic that is most requested for. So some of them might not be available to be part of the live session, but they can go to the YouTube and watch the replay because they requested for it. So if you are on the platform, if you're on the WhatsApp platform, you can join those that will request for a particular topic that you want to learn or you want your children to learn. Okay, it gives you an opportunity to make your opinion heard. I want to appreciate everyone who has joined or who was available to join the live session. So have a wonderful day, everyone. See you next week, God willing, by the grace of God. Bye.